Hey, what's up you guys? Marty here with guitarjams.com. I'm going to give you a couple of soloing tips for the beginner that's trying to, they know the pentatonic scale, but they want to know a couple of cool things or some things to think about. I see it all the time. People know the scale, but then they don't know what to do with it. I've got some awesome DVDs. I've gotten great feedback on them. I'm going to leave the ones that I think pertain to you, the people that I was just saying. I'm going to leave those in the little information box so you can check those out if you want. But I'm going to show you a couple of tips right now. Right off the bat, there's a cool little sequence that will help your technique and just get you digging into the scale a little more, like get more comfortable with the shape of the scale. And it sounds like this. And so, yeah, I mean, it just kind of sounds like a sequence, but if you saw me, I was doing my alternate picking there. You can start with down picks, that's what most people do, but it's an amazing thing to work out with the alternate picking. I have a very important practice tip for you guys out there. It's the most important one, and it's also the most difficult one for people to follow by, including myself, which is to practice this stuff super slow. Now, when you're jamming, it's fine. You're jamming, just don't think about anything. You just want whatever to come out, right? But when you're working on something, let's say it's only for 5 minutes, go super slow. You'll get the mechanics quicker that way than trying to blaze through all this stuff and have it be all sloppy. A lot of people don't listen to me on that one, but I'm telling you, from my own experience, it's what you need to do. So we're going to just stick with the A minor pentatonic scale. So hopefully you know that by now. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a sequence, like a pattern. So we're going to start with our pinky on the 8th fret of that scale, and we're going to go. So I just went 3 notes down the scale. 8, 5, and then 8 on the B string. That's the first sequence. Check it out. So we go. And since wherever we ended that little sequence of 3 notes, the next sequence starts the next note up in the scale. So if we went high E, 8, 5, 8 on the B, the next group of 3 starts 1 lower from this 8 on the high E. So it's going to start on the 5 of the high E, and then it'll end up going 1 lower. Check it out. So we have the first one, then the next one starts on the 5 of the high E, which ends on the 5 of the B. And together they sound like this. And I'm going to do it super slow now, so I can listen to my own advice. I try to get that first before you move on to the next 2 patterns, but I'm going to show them to you. So the next pattern is going to start on the 8 of the B. So we went 8, 5 on the B, then 7 on the G, then 5 on the B, 7 on the G to 5 on the G. So now all the sequences together sound like this. Now the next groups, the next little set of patterns are my favorite ones. They just use the whole step stuff, not the longer ones. So we've got. So now we want to go on the G string. We're going to go 7, 5, and then 7 on the D. Then we go 5 on the G, 7 on the D, 5 on the D. So check it out. Alright, so let me zoom in a little bit, and I'm just going to show you all the ones we did so far, and I'm going to show you how to use them once you are able to do the exercise. And to follow the same pattern, now we're on the D, and we go 7, 5, 7, 5 on the D, 7 on the A. You know, it just keeps following this pattern. Once you get the first 3 or 4, the rest you should hear the pattern with your ear, but basically it looks like this. So now we have to get, as the pattern goes, we have to go back to the 8th with our pinky on the low E. So we have, so 7, 5 on the A, 8 on the E, so back to 5 on the A, and then 8, 5 on the low E. Now watch if I just add a little of my own character of playing, you know, for a lot of years. Sorry, wrong spot. So, instead I went, I didn't finish the pattern and I have a lick. Watch, if I start with a little bend, then I do it. So it'll work its way into your vocabulary. Okay, alright, one more time the pattern. So that's a little something that I remember really helping me a lot, because what you do is if you can practice it long enough, it'll kind of become part of your vocabulary, and you can just, the idea is to just, you know, have that open up some new lick ideas for you. So, you know, let's say you had a bend on the G string right here. So you could do that pattern from the high E into a lick. You could do a lick, then part of the pattern. Alright, so just a little, you know, a little something. There's all kinds of amazing things about that exercise if you're just trying to learn how to solo that will, you know, work your coordination, your dexterity, you know, the skills of your left and right hand together, you know, patting and circling, the whole thing. But, you know, the basic point of this particular lesson is here's a cool example. A little bit of that right there. It's just part of that sequence. But then get your ring finger to the 8th of the B and we'll bend it up, and now you have a lick. Like. All part of that pattern. Use part of the extension. Etc. So, why don't you click the link over there and you can check out some of the DVDs I have that teach you this from scratch, really. And get you up to the point where you actually do some face melters. So, anyway, thanks a lot, you guys, and, you know, feel free to tell me what's working for you and what you want to work on. Alright, I'll see you later.